a quiet corner of an ancient library, there lived a scholar named Silas, who had spent 40 years trying to define the word life by reading every book ever written. But the more he read, the more confused he became, because he found that while the word life is very small in letters, it is immeasurably great in its reality and meaning. He decided to leave his books behind and travel to the highest peak of the mountains, where he met an old woman sitting by a small fire, and he asked her how a word so tiny could contain the weight of the entire universe. She didn't answer him with words, but instead handed him a single seed and a cup of water and told him to watch it until he understood. Silas sat for days and weeks watching the seed struggle to break its shell, until finally a tiny green shoot emerged, and he realized that life is not a static definition, but a constant state of becoming, and a relentless force that refuses to be contained by any boundary. He saw that the word life is small because it is a seed, but its meaning is great because it is the forest that grows from it. He continued his journey to the bustling cities, where he saw a mother holding her newborn child. He saw the same spark in the baby's eyes that he had seen in the mountain seed, and he understood that life is the bridge between the past and the future. The logic of the universe is that the smallest things often carry the heaviest truths, and the word life is just a container for a miracle that no human language can fully capture. You have been failing to appreciate your own existence because you have been looking for life in the grand gestures and the loud successes, when life is actually found in the quiet moments of breathing and the simple act of staying kind in a cruel world. The solution to your emptiness is to stop trying to define life and start trying to feel its pulse in everything you do. The motivation for you today is to realize that you are a walking miracle, carrying a word that is small enough to whisper but great enough to shake the foundations of the earth. The vibe shift happens when you stop treating your days like a checklist and start treating them like a sacred gift. Because the meaning of life is not something you find, it is something you create with every choice you make. Julian and Elias learned that the smallest word holds the greatest power, because it is the only thing that remains when everything else falls away. Your life is a masterpiece written in a language that only your heart can speak, and you must decide today that you will no longer live a small life with a great name, but a great life with a small name. The barrier is gone because you have finally realized that you don't need 1,000 pages to explain your purpose. You only need the courage to live the 4 letters of the word that was given to you at birth. Stand up and recognize the greatness within your own heartbeat, because the word is small, but the reality is infinite. Silas looked at the single seed in his palm and realized that the word life is small because it is a humble beginning. But its reality is great because it contains the blueprint for an entire universe of possibilities. He understood that most people fail to live because they are waiting for a grand stage or a massive audience to perform, when the true greatness of life is found in the microscopic persistence of a soul that refuses to quit. Master Thorne once said that the smallest spark can burn down a forest, and the smallest word can define an eternity if it is backed by a heart that is fully awake. The logic of your existence is that you were not born to be a definition in a dictionary, but a force of nature that shifts the atmosphere wherever you go. You have been feeling small because you have been measuring your life by the size of your bank account or the number of people who know your name, instead of the depth of your character and the strength of your spirit. The solution to your constant search for meaning is to realize that the word life is a container, and you are the one who chooses what to fill it with every single morning. If you fill it with fear, it becomes a cage, but if you fill it with courage, it becomes a kingdom. Julian and Elias discovered that the vibe shift is the moment you stop trying to explain your life to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, and start living so loudly that your results do the talking. The motivation for you right now is to understand that you are carrying a greatness that is too big for the small words of your critics and too deep for the shallow thoughts of the crowd. You are a living miracle disguised as an ordinary person, and the only thing stopping you from seeing your own greatness is the habit of looking at yourself through the eyes of people who are spiritually blind. The barrier does not exist because life is not a wall to be broken, but a river to be flowed with and a fire to be fed. You have been failing because you are trying to control the river instead of learning how to swim, and you are trying to hide the fire instead of letting it burn. The story of Silas ends with him returning to the library, not to read more books, but to write his own using the blood of his experiences and the ink of his soul. He realized that the word life is short because time is a thief, but the meaning is great because love is a conqueror. The vibe shift is complete when you stand up and decide that you will no longer be a small character in a great story, but a great character in a story that is small enough for only you to tell. Take your 4 letters and turn them into a legend, because the reality of your life is waiting for you to stop thinking and start being. Have you ever thought about the word life? It's just 4 letters, but it holds everything we've ever known and everything we'll ever be. For a long time, I thought I understood it. I was Silas, a guy who had his life pretty much mapped out. Wake up, work, chase promotions, save for a bigger house, a faster car. Life, for me, was a checklist. A series of goals to be conquered, a mountain to climb, with happiness waiting at the summit. I was so focused on the climb that I barely noticed the world around me. The city was just a blur of concrete and glass. People were just obstacles or stepping stones. Life was a race, and I was determined to win. But then, something happened. It wasn't a big, dramatic event. It was small. I lost my job, the company downsized, and suddenly, my meticulously planned 5-year plan evaporated. The mountain I was climbing crumbled beneath my feet. For weeks, I was lost. The silence in my apartment was deafening. Without the constant hum of deadlines and meetings, who was I? My identity had been so wrapped up in my career that without it, I felt like a ghost. Life, the word I thought I knew, became a question mark. It felt empty, a void I didn't know how to fill. One afternoon, desperate to escape the 4 walls of my apartment, I went for a walk with no destination in mind. I ended up in a small, forgotten park I'd driven past 1,000 times, but never entered. I sat on a bench and just watched. I saw an old man meticulously tending to a bed of roses, his hands gentle and sure. I saw a group of kids chasing a soccer ball, their laughter echoing through the trees. I saw a young couple sharing a sandwich, their eyes locked on each other as if they were the only 2 people in the world. And then I saw an ant struggling to carry a crumb of bread many times its size. It stumbled, it fell, but it never let go. It just kept going, determined. In that tiny, insignificant moment, watching that ant, something shifted inside me. I realized life wasn't about the grand summit. It was about the struggle, the effort, the sheer will to carry on. It was about the small, beautiful moments I had been too busy to see. The scent of the roses the old man was caring for, the pure, unadulterated joy in the children's laughter, the quiet connection between the young couple. This was life. Not the destination, but the journey itself, in all its messy, unpredictable, and breathtaking detail. Life wasn't a checklist, it was a collection of moments. I started to change my routine. Instead of scrolling through job postings first thing in the morning, I started my day by watching the sunrise from my window. The colors painting the sky were different every single day, a unique masterpiece that lasted only for a few minutes. I started cooking for myself again, not just reheating frozen meals. I rediscovered the joy of chopping vegetables, the sizzle of garlic in a hot pan, the way different spices could transform simple ingredients into something delicious. Life started to taste different, richer. I reconnected with old friends, not to network, but just to talk. We shared stories, laughed about old times, and supported each other through new challenges. I realized that my connections with people weren't transactions, they were lifelines. They were the threads that wove the fabric of my existence. I started volunteering at a local animal shelter. The unconditional love from a rescued dog, the gentle purr of a cat curled in my lap, it was a powerful reminder that life was also about giving and receiving affection, about caring for other beings. One day, I took a trip to the coast. I stood on a cliff overlooking the ocean, watching the waves crash against the rocks below. The sea was vast, powerful, and eternal. It had been here long before me and would be here long after I was gone. Staring into that endless blue, I felt incredibly small, but not in a bad way. It was humbling. My problems, my anxieties, my entire existence seemed like a tiny drop in this vast ocean of being, and yet I was a part of it. My drop mattered. My life, my experiences, my choices, they were all part of this grand, cosmic dance. Life wasn't just my personal story. It was being part of a story much, much bigger than myself. That day, the word life finally clicked. It wasn't a noun. It was a verb. It's the act of seeing, of feeling, of connecting, of struggling, of loving, of being. It's the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of your favorite food, the sound of a loved one's voice, the feeling of accomplishment after a hard day's work, no matter what that work is. It's the pain of loss and the joy of discovery. It's all of it. It's all of it. It's the messy, complicated, beautiful, and fleeting tapestry of moments that we get to experience. I eventually found a new job, one that was less demanding but more fulfilling. I have a smaller apartment now, but it's filled with sunlight and plants. My car isn't the fastest, but it gets me to places where I can hike and see the stars. I didn't win the race I had set out on. Instead, I left the racetrack altogether and found a winding path through the woods, and I'm happier than I ever was when I was climbing that mountain. So, I ask you again, what does the word life mean to you? Maybe it's time to put down your own checklist, to look up from the race, and to just notice. Notice the ant carrying its crumb. Notice the sunrise. Notice the people around you, because life isn't waiting for you at some future destination. It's happening right here, right now, in this very breath. Don't miss it. Dompromuna. Cola. Domprom. Brr. Dompro. Tim. Go. Bo. Ku. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me on this journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time. Your time is coming. Keep believing. Keep fighting. Don't just watch. Go out and prove them wrong. Thank you for being part of the journey. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.